everyone, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to make this today because I've seen some articles recently talking about how there are only 10 active girl groups who debuted in the third generation. Of course, even in the recent past there were a lot more active third gen girl groups such as Lovelyz, GFRIEND, or Gugudan, but sadly, in the recent years, most third gen girl groups have unfortunately disbanded. Personally, my favorite third gen girl group that already disbanded is Gugudan. I think they deserved a lot better, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. Instead, today I'm going to be looking at all of the active third gen girl groups and be ranking them according to my personal preference. So we're going to be looking at Mamamoo, LABOOM, Blackpink, Dreamcatcher, Red Velvet, Twice, Weki, Momoland, WJSN, and Oh!MY!GIRL. I actually enjoy all of these groups and I think it's very deserved that they're all still together and active. So while I will be doing a little bit of negative commentary as to why I think certain groups are lower on the list, I do have positive things to say about all of them. I hope you all enjoy this video. I think this one's going to be a pretty interesting one, and without further ado, let's talk about the group in last place, or 10th place. I think this placement was probably expected because most people just aren't very familiar with LABOOM, and to be completely honest, neither am I. My knowledge of LABOOM goes as far as their most recent mini album and some of their title tracks, and while I didn't have a problem with anything that I heard, nothing really stood out to me, I guess. They have a very specific sound which is soft and sort of like Girl Next Door, and sadly that's just not really my preferred genre, and they stick to that genre very heavily. From what I've heard so far though, my favorite song of theirs is Hui Hui, which they actually got their first win for, and that's totally deserved because it's honestly a really good song. I'm not exactly sure how much more time these girls are going to stay together for, but considering their career has been on a bit of an upward slope recently, I think they have a bit longer. I'm really looking forward to see what they have to put out next. I think they're going to have a comeback within the next 3 months, and I hope they can put out something that's even better than Hui Hui. So 9th on the list we have Mamamoo, and I was actually surprised at how low they were, but after thinking about it for a while, I think that this placement is justified. First of all, I'm just gonna say the thing that you're all thinking. Mamamoo obviously have amazing vocalists, and I will say that they have amazing title tracks. I think I genuinely like every single one, and that's even including like I.O.I and Windflower. However, since they're in the number 9 spot, you probably can assume that I'm not the biggest fan of their B-sides. And you might be thinking that I just haven't listened to a lot of Mamamoo B-sides, but that's honestly not the case. I think I've listened to a good 90% of their discography, and out of all of their music I only have 6 B-sides saved. A couple of those are Chuck and Baton Touch. I really don't know what it is, but most of their B-sides just don't scratch my brain in the way I want them to. Like, I'll genuinely stream any of their title tracks on any given day, and my favorite is actually the one they did for that commercial. It's called Wanna Be Myself. The rest of them are so good, but Wanna Be Myself is just on another tier. So yeah, amazing title tracks. B-sides aren't really to my liking, and that's why they're number 9. So in the number 8 spot we have Dreamcatcher, and they are a very similar case to Mamamoo, where I like their title tracks but their B-sides aren't necessarily my favorite. But what puts Dreamcatcher above Mamamoo for me is that they released that Dystopia Tree of Language album. The full album, that is fantastic. All of my favorite Dreamcatcher songs come from that album, like Black or White, Jazz Bar, Red Sun. Come on, like it's not even a contest. Of course, like I said, their title tracks are also amazing. My favorite title track is Boca, but genuinely nothing else that Dreamcatcher has put out tops Black or White for me. That's my favorite song of theirs by far. I also really like a couple of the members, actually, more so just Dami. Dami's like one of my favorite female biases, and I kind of have a soft spot for them because a lot of my friends really like Dreamcatcher. If you're watching this, you know who you are. They're a really well-rounded group talent-wise, and I wish I could put them higher, but sadly, I just don't like a majority of their B-sides, but that one album, Dystopia Tree of Language, that album is safe. Not much else though. So after Dreamcatcher we have Oh!MY!GIRL, and there's sort of like a big gap between Dreamcatcher and the rest of these groups. Not that I dislike any of the groups in the bottom 3, but from 8th place to 1st place I enjoy them a lot more. So Oh!MY!GIRL, I think they genuinely have some of the best title tracks out of all 3rd gen groups, boy groups and girl groups. Because you can't tell me tracks like Cupid, Dun Dun Dance, Nonstop, and Bungee aren't some of the best things you've ever heard. I mean, you can have your other opinions, that's totally fine, I'm not gonna stop you, but my opinion, it's never gonna change. I think one time I literally looped Cupid for like 4 hours straight, or Maybe it was Dun Dun Dance, I can't remember. I just know it was an Oh My Girl song, and I just know that I was in love with it for a small period of time. I still like it, whichever title track that it was. I know I don't dislike any of them, but you know, me and that song, we're just friends now. They also have a good number of really good B-sides, but you kind of have to search for them. There's a lot of filler tracks that make up their discography, but things like Dolphin, Neon, Crime Scene, Vogue, and Shower, I could not recommend those enough. So yeah, I just have pretty positive thoughts about Oh My Girl, and before any of you say, what about Shark, that Universe single? Isn't that like one of the worst things you've ever heard? Well, what would you say if I said that's my favorite Universe single? Am I the bad guy? They just don't have enough music. Like, the whole average of 3 songs per year is really not doing enough for me, and the fact that we just went a full year without them having a comeback, I just cannot warrant them in the top 5. But that's not their fault. We all know whose fault it is. It is YG Entertainment's and Teddy's fault. Like, yes, we have songs like Pretty Savage, Playing with Fire, and Stay in their discography, but that's like half of their discography at this point. We need more. Like, I totally don't mind if they have 1 comeback a year. That's like a great schedule for them. That means they have so much free time to do whatever they want. But for that 1 comeback, give us more than 2 songs. Like, let's get 8, 9, 10. Like, it's not that hard, I don't think. So the moral of the story is Blackpink would be higher if they had more music. And I am cursing Teddy and YG for not giving us that. So starting off the top 5, we have the winners of Queendom 2 if Hyolyn does not win. And for WJSN, like, who doesn't like WJSN? I genuinely do not know any WJSN antis. And that's just because they're a great group. There's nothing wrong with them. You've got great music, great vocals, great rapping, great choreography. We got great styling eventually. It just took a couple of years. So what is there to dislike? Like, I seriously could not put the group that has Pantomime in their discography below the top 5. That just would be criminal. Do I like all of their title tracks? No, but do I like 75% of all of the music that they've ever put out? Yeah, and that's an impressive feat. I also have a couple of my favorite female idols ever in this group that are Dayoung and Yeonjung, and I just love WJSN's whole theme, you know, their whole cosmic thing. That's so cool. So what I'm trying to say is WJSN, 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 WJSN.
Love like this. Are you ready for love like this? Are you ready for yummy, yummy love?
Now, before anybody gets mad at me in the comment sections, I just have to say this. I don't know how many times I have to remind you guys, I am the #1 Momoland defender on YouTube. Do all of their title tracks sound the same? No, actually they don't, because they have Freeze and Ready or Not, but you've probably just not listened to those. And that's really a shame, because a majority of the people who have ever listened to Momoland are limiting themselves to, like, not even their best songs. Their title tracks are all good besides Thumbs Up, don't get me wrong. But if you've never listened to Freeze, Bingo Game, Same, or Very, what is wrong with you? Are you kidding me? Do yourself a favor and listen to some good music. You'll thank me later, trust me. I think Momoland have, and this is a very strong statement, the most underrated discography out of the entirety of their gen. If you disagree, you just haven't listened to their B-sides, and if you have, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. So starting off our top 3, we have Red Velvet, and like, insider information right now, they were actually number 5 until their comeback yesterday. Me and Red Velvet, before Feel My Rhythm, we'd been falling out. Their past few releases had not been for me, but something about Feel My Rhythm and that entire mini album, wow, just blew me away. First of all, it's been like years since Red Velvet have released a B-side that I truly love, but what did they put into Bamboleo? Are you kidding me? That's like their best song that they just released yesterday, and I'm not supposed to be freaking out about it? No. Me and Red Velvet, right now, we're on good terms, but actually we're not even just on good terms, we're on amazing terms. This might change later on. Feel My Rhythm and the entire mini album might age like milk later down the line, but right now I'm just gonna enjoy it while I can, because I will never complain about a Yeri era. That is rare, and she is like Yeri's a top 4 female K-pop bias for me. I love Yeri so much, and it has been a minute since she's had an era that I can definitely say is hers, so Red Velvet, top 3 K-pop 3rd gen girl groups that are active right now. That was a lot of words.
Love ain't no science, don't need no license.
Do people who watch my videos know that I'm a once? Because I don't know if they do, but if you don't, I am a huge once. They were actually my first ever K-pop group. Thank you to my cousin for introducing me to them. First of all, their title tracks, they have what, like 30 at this point? Not a single miss besides What Is Love? If you heard me say that, no you didn't. And their B-sides have always been good, and they've always stayed good. I don't know who started the narrative that Twice B-sides are bad, but I don't like you. And third of all, Jonghyun. self-explanatory. No matter what happens to TWICE this year regarding contract renewals, we can all agree that their legacy will last for decades, and it's for good reason. What other group was able to put out such a large chain of title tracks that had so much impact? What other group has some of the most eye-catching and fun-to-do choreographies that have ever existed? And what other group has such a large amount of members, but somehow still everybody knows all of their names? None of them. Those titles belong only to TWICE. Well, at least to me, but you know, I have a really soft spot for them. I love TWICE. And now the moment that you've all been waiting for, let's talk about the group in first place. How do we not have like 50 million people who have hopped on the Meki train yet? They've been putting out consistently good music ever since debut, they've raised the bar with each new release, and their B-sides and entire discography are just immaculate. So what else do we need? What else do we need to make Meki famous? Oh, actually I know. We need Fantagio to start giving a single damn about this group. It's no one else's fault, it's really not. We just need their company to start trying. Just once, just for one comeback, and then they'll propel into stardom, because everybody talks about them, everybody loves Doyeon and Yoojung, but we just haven't gotten the effort that we need from Fantagio to actually build them a fandom. So if you don't know Meki, let me just give you a quick summary of the group. They're perfect. There's nothing wrong with them. That's all you need to know. That's really all you need to know. Just know that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, Meki will always be supreme in my heart, and Lua will always be my all-time favorite female K-pop bias. And that concludes this long video. Thank you all so much for watching, and let me know what your ranking of these 10 groups would be in the comment section below. I appreciate each and every one of you that got to the end of the video so much. You do not understand how much I'm so thankful. Thank you again so much for watching. I cannot express my gratitude in words, and without further ado, I'll see you all next time. Thanks. Thank you.